Hello, my loves. If you're wondering why I'm in this particular laying down position, it's because my back is sore and I still have a bit of a cough and I'm still recovering, but there are messages coming through. So it is time to serve in a way that is comfortable and easy for me because this is the life we are choosing to live. Okay? Choosing. Choice may be significant in this message today. So if there's been things about choices for you or direction or feeling lost, confused, unsupported, this reading is likely for you. Just a reminder, my clarity channels are open. If you're needing a bit of, I don't want to say quick clarity, I like saying quick clarity, but you don't have to book in a one-on-one. It's a beautiful voice recording and people have been loving them. So they're still open. My one-on-ones are open. And then if you're needing a foundational support with your emotions right now, then Path of Pain to Power is always there. Okay, that framework is potentially the best thing I ever created. And that is there to guide you back to yourself and help you connect to your body. That is the thing that literally I return to every single time I need to. Because you have to remember that life is always going to not throw things at us. I don't like to say it like that, but you have to remember that we're always going to be experiencing more of ourselves, and that means going deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's not always easy. Okay, doesn't mean our lifestyle can't be one of ease and we can't incorporate ease, but again, balance with everything. We go through trials, we go through tests, we go through lessons and obstacles and chaos to deepen into our existence of self. Okay, and if we don't have the proper support and the proper nourishment for ourselves and the rituals and the routines, then we will fall apart. So that's what this is. Okay, that's what the Path of Pain and Power is. It's rituals, it's routines, it's a framework, it's something that will hold you while you learn to hold yourself and feel capable doing so, as well as not just understanding yourself better, but learning to feel emotionally free, which the inevitable byproduct of emotional freedom is regulation. Okay, so I return to it always. And that felt really important to share. For those who are needing it, it is there. It is there. The support is there. Yes, it's an investment, but if we don't make those investments in ourselves, we're never going to level up and become who we want to become. Okay? It's okay to let someone come in and guide you. Okay. The message. At the moment in the collective, I feel that your patience is being tested. You may have been experiencing a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak, or just like chest issues at the moment as well. Headaches, dizziness, exhaustion, feelings of just being over it, or wondering when things are going to get better. Or there's been this interesting duality, this contradictory energies of at times feeling great, but then your world feeling like it's falling apart. And then you then feel like you're falling apart. And then your world gets a bit better. Things like that. Spirit source knows your patience has been tested. You've been having to go deeper than ever before. You've been called to higher levels of guidance. You've been called to do work that doesn't always make sense. You've been called to different parts of yourself that you've experienced before, but not quite on this level. You've had a lot of pressure on yourself. And you've been just wondering, when will it end? And that's where the choice comes in. You're being guided to make a choice for yourself, for your world, to stop waiting for things to just be handed to you. Now, I'm getting two sides of the coin with that one. Handed to you, like handed, what is it? Whether it's like you handed on your ass, or like you're, like handed to you in a maybe more of a negative experience, and then handed to you in a waiting to be saved kind of experience. That's coming in both ways there. You're waiting for things to be handed to you. Maybe you've had a constant pattern of this because you've believed that you are incapable. You've believed on some deep level within yourself. Not that you can't do it all on your own, partially that, yes, but it's not about being alone, although your brains try to tell you that's what this is about. Let's ignore the double chin. It's your capacity, your capability to receive, to hold, to generate more, to create. Yes, doing, but there's a great level of being that you're missing. And not missing in terms of it's not there, missing in terms of your sight has not been there, your priority has not been there, your focus has not been there. I think on a level you think it has because you haven't had to tend to yourself in this way in a very long time. You haven't had to be so present in so long. Now they're taking me back to the grief because there's this grief that's been coming up, that's been sitting in your body. Waiting. I'm hearing waiting to have been released. I'm hearing restored. Peace to be restored. Love to be restored. This love of self. This nourishment for self, for life, for all the things that you want. 7:37 on the clock when I said that, and that felt significant. There's been this lack of care, whether externally, internally. I'm hearing both, but they're redirecting you to the internal. Because you're being asked to see what you have not been giving yourself. And then you're being asked to go, well, how do you expect the world to hand things to you when you aren't even, one, in the driver's seat? You aren't leading, not in the way that you're aligned to lead, meant to lead, want to lead. And two, because you aren't giving to yourself, or you haven't been, or it's been inconsistent, which is why your world has been inconsistent. Now, this isn't to discount so much of the work you've done as what I'm hearing Spirit is saying. This is just to really get you to see, really see and embody beingness, nourishing yourself, loving yourself. Now, this came up in the last message, but there's a deeper aspect to this I'm going to get into. I think there's more action involved today in this message. Because you've not been, maybe you've had a realization lately, or you've experienced some sort of meltdown, I'm hearing, breakdowns, breakthroughs, recognition of you've been not just giving your power away, but you've been ignoring your value. Now, you've had this message for a while. And it's been coming up for a while because it went very deep, very deep. Deep in the subconscious, deep in your body. You've not been living a life that you actually want. Now, I'm not saying that there's nothing in your life that you don't want. I'm just saying you haven't ever You've never been given the space, potentially when you were a child, you were never given the space to foster desire, to foster nourishment, to foster a garden that's yours that you can tend to. It's almost like you were just never given the space to be. But in that being, there was also no space for you to figure out your being, to understand it, to conceptualize it, to express, to act from this space, to do all of the things. Your beingness came down to value in doing for others, or value in making things work. So when things don't work, you fall apart because your value must be non-existent, is what your thoughts or subconscious thoughts have been. So what's happening is this massive redirection inwards to recognize and to clear. So you've been probably going through so much purging, a lot of purging, emotionally, physically, like things could literally just being like taken from your life. Things could just be maybe nothing's coming in at this point in time is what I'm hearing, because you're needing to recognize why it hurts so much when things don't work, or when you see things outside of you not working. Why does it hurt you so much? Because you've been placing the validation, the reassurance of your capacity, your capability, and your value in things working outside of you. So when things are working outside of you, you are perfect. Look at you, you've done that. You're amazing. But if things aren't working, and I don't feel like anything's been working for you lately, or it's been very much just like you're only seeing what's not working, you've been stripped right back to, I am worthless. Again, these subconscious beliefs that you have. Now, logically, you know that you're not worthless. You consciously, you know all these things, right? But this has been hitting in a deep level in your beingness. It's not that you have low self-worth. It's not that you don't have confidence. Maybe it shows up in areas of your life, but you know when it comes to it that the work you've been doing has been working internally. But what you're being asked to really, really, really not just understand, but feel and acknowledge and accept is that you've never had the space to be you, any real part of you. And so you've never been given the space to then do from that space of being. Like I said, create, want, feel nourished externally, feel nourished internally. But there's been such a constant redirection to your external. And that's why there's such an intense redirection to your internal. And I know this hasn't been easy. If you've been asking if you're on the right path, if you're doing things wrong, you need to see how that is associated with this patterning, with this subconscious work, with these beliefs that you've had. Your constant concern if you're on the right path, if you're doing the right things. Is it an exact example and evidence of this wounding, this lack of being, of existing in your being, of enjoying your being? Again, this isn't that you've never had this. This is just hitting a very deep level of this, okay? This is connecting to your soul, to your heart, to your sacral, is what I'm hearing. And then it plays a role in how you can hold and your capacity and your ability to do. Now, I know you've leveled up in so many areas. I can feel that. Okay, there's been a lot of leveling up. There's been a lot of work. But why have you been doing the work? List all the reasons if you want to, but there's another little reason, not even little, big reason, that you've been doing the work, I'm hearing, to prove a point, to fix what was never broken. Oh, emotional. You've been doing the work to fix what was never broken. You were never broken. You were never wrong. You were never unworthy, unvaluable. You were never undeserving. And you need to sit in this more. There needs to be a new routine, a new ritual, new habits implemented into your daily life that are consistently activating your beingness. I'm not just talking just meditation. I'm talking asking yourself, asking your body, and waiting for the answer, not rushing the answer, not being impatient, waiting for the answer to rise, not here, okay, in your body, in your heart, asking yourself, what nourishment do I need today? What do I want today? How can I serve myself today? And I know you've been doing this on a level, but I feel like because things got so chaotic in your external world, we slipped a little bit. We went right back into failure because of how strong that wounding has been. Okay. And again, things only get worse before they get better, because this is the perfect time for you to really see, because it's all in your face, right? Everything's in your face right now. Everything's showing you how wrong everything is. And you know these things aren't wrong, but these things just aren't you. It's not that these things in your world are wrong or aren't working. It's just that they aren't you. And you're being given the space to be and to choose you. To choose who you are, what you want, what nourishment is for you. By asking yourself, by asking your heart, your body, your emotions, giving yourself the space every day, cultivating that, maintaining that, nourishing that. When I say that, that's you. And then asking, how can I serve my world outside of me? What do you need to do? All the other things, right? Trusting your downloads, trusting your guidance, trusting the intuitive messages that you get and where you need to go. But again, if we continue to do all of those things without nourishing the within and getting really clear on what is within, then there would always be a disconnect. There would always be a disconnect between the two, and you would only be nourishing your external world without the source that is meant to nourish it. Because your external world comes from your internal world. So if you're not nourishing the internal world, there's no well for the external world to be nourished by, and then there's no return of nourishment to you from your external world. Okay? It cycles. So if your external world doesn't have the proper nourishment that comes from you nourishing yourself, then you will not be nourished by your external world. You will not be supported because you aren't doing what supports you. You aren't doing what is you. You aren't being. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you see how it all connects? We can't be skipping steps that are the fundamentals of how everything in this world works, the flow of everything, the process, the natural born process. This is how we are naturally meant to operate. This is what I teach you in my mini course Path to Receiving. And this message is clearly, fucking hell, it's big for many of you today. You need to remember you. Go back to when you were a kid. Ask yourself, what were you drawn to? What toys, what playthings, what activities, what were you drawn to? It doesn't mean that you're going to be wanting those exact things right now, but there's an essence of them. There's always an essence of them because energy cannot be destroyed. Any energy is alchemized. Energy becomes more of something else if you allow it to be. If you allow it to be. So your external world is that more of you. So right now, if you aren't being nourished by your external world, if you aren't receiving the support that you need, it's because it is a reflection of the more that is you. When you love yourself and you choose for yourself and you give yourself the time, the care, the compassion as you would a child that you love unconditionally. Treat yourself as a child you would love unconditionally, your internal world, I mean. You need to constantly be mothering yourself, nurturing yourself, your womb, for those who. Giving yourself the love, the nourishment that you need. And over time, like say for example, you feel like you need money or you need food or you need certain things in your world to give you the proper nourishment that you mean. Start with the energy first. If you can't have the external things right now that would give you all of the nourishment that you like would, for example, if you need saunas, you don't right now have the space or the resources to have saunas or to do those things, you need to understand, okay, what does a sauna help you do? What is the purpose of sauna? What is the sauna going to give you to yourself, right? What is you doing that sauna? What nourishment does it provide? And find the energy of that and do so by just feeling it first. If sauna is about detoxing, how can you ask your body what it needs to release? Do you understand? I hope you understand that. If you can't have the physical things yet to nourish yourself in the way that you would like to be, like your dream life, you can start with the energy, okay? And that will reflect in your external, and then eventually everything will start to circulate, and then you will enter a space eventually where you can then start having saunas, and it will level up because it will always be more of you when you nourish what is you. And if you can't figure that out right now, it's never gonna be up here, by the way. Step at a time. Your body might not currently give you all the answers that you're looking for to every bit of nourishment that you need if you haven't cultivated that relationship with it. So what's coming through here is that just baby steps. Baby steps. Ask one question a day for a little while and then start asking 2 questions a day. And then as your body builds that trust and as you start responding to those innate needs on the level in which they need to be met, your body will feel safer and more relaxed and know that it's going to be supported. So it's going to start speaking up more. You're going to feel it instantly. You won't even have to wait 10 minutes for an answer from your body to tell you because you're going to already have that relationship that you've been building. You know what you need to do. This is the guidance. And you're watching this, you're hearing this for a reason. Because sometimes we need to be inspired by our external world to remind us to go in. Hence why, if things aren't working outside in your internal world, that is trying to show you that something is not working in here. Okay, and not because you're a failure or any of those things, but because you need a level of nourishment that you've been forgetting to provide for yourself, probably because it was never provided to you at a very young age. You weren't taught, okay, you weren't nurtured properly the way that you deserved, and you can't change that, but what you can change is how you treat yourself. And that's where the starting point is. That's where it is. I think that's the message today, guys. I love you. Nourish yourself, take care of yourselves, ask yourself questions, be patient, be compassionate. You have all the answers. Just feels important. You have all the answers, but if they don't come up right away, it's probably because you need to show that you can respond to the first one. Okay, that feels really important for someone to hear. And you're going to try to think that it's the brain, but it's not the brain. Okay, you need to literally feel it first, and then a thought will form. And notice as well when the logic or the rationale tries to say, well, what's the point of that? Or that's not going to do anything. You don't know until you try. Okay, you don't know until you try. It's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to feel a little bit weird because you've never given this to yourself or me on this level. Maybe you've done this work before, but you're returning to this work again because you're on this new level and this new capacity and this world that you want to build that you've been working so hard towards. It needs a more nourished version of you because you're expecting your external world to nourish you to the fullest. You're needing to see the depth in which you need to create that space for it to land. Do you understand? I hope you do. Anyway, my loves, I do feel that's the message. I love you. You are so supported. You've got this. And don't forget my clarity channels are open. Otherwise, if you're needing some more foundational work, my programs are there. They're the shit. They are the shit. Anyway, I love you.